In March, the Alamo Candy Company made its first appearance on YTD with their now infamous sour pickleballs. Today, they will try to redeem themselves with 2 more snack offerings. If that wasn't enough pressure for them, they'll be taking on chocolate heavyweight Kilwins. Sweet, spicy, and sour. We've got it all right now on You Tried Dat. You Tried Dat. I'm Nick North, the Pal Chet Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Hey. So I think I'm spicy. Which one are you guys? Of the sweet, spicy, and sour of the three of us.
I'm sour.
Okay.
Dejectedly.
Just immediately. Yeah, you meant me to be sour, didn't you?
Pretty unanimous. I'm sour as fuck, yeah. hate dad, etc.
Something that is sweet is, Geiger, you recently were given the opportunity to purchase a snowmobile.
Very sweet, yeah.
That is sweet. That sounds sweet.
Yeah. So what Novak's referring to is I was recently telling you about a guy that I work with. So he still works at my company. Obviously, I'm not going to give you his name. Let's call him... Chad, I'll let you pick his name. What do you think his name should be?
Ooh, well, how about Snowmobile Sam?
Snowmobile Sam. Sam was hired. And Sam is a nice enough guy.
Uh-huh.
But he is your stereotypical, like, businessy, salesy, like, shooter, like, what'd you do in the back nine kind of guy, and like drives me fucking nuts.
The worst.
And so when he first started working, we had to work together very closely because he was assigned to a big customer and I was the guy who actually knew what the fuck he was doing. So like I had to like bring him along. So we called him Snowmobile for the first like 6 months he worked there, because the first week he was hired, he sat across from me in the cubicles and just had his feet up on the desk and was desperately trying to sell his snowmobile for a week. Like it was, and like every other call, he'd be like, yeah, I got like an Arctic Cat 3200. Not that many miles. It's a fucking snowmobile. It's not like you're not selling a Toyota Corolla. Like
he was trying to sell it to clients who weren't.
No, it wasn't. I think he's just selling, like he had it out on some site.
Taking calls from like Craigslist randos or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm like,
okay.
Like pinging the guy next to me.
People were calling
like,
your company.
Hey, I want to learn about XYZ. Yeah, I know you do, but are you in the snowmobile market?
Because I've got a deal for you.
And so I would be pinging my friends. I'm like, I cannot hear one more word about this fucking snowmobile. Like it was every call. So then we start working together, and he does not know a single thing about our business, but is very good at just saying yes to whatever a customer wants. So we would have to several times be like,
that doesn't sound like a sales guy. I mean, come on.
No, exactly. So they'd be like, can we do this? And he'd go, we sure can. And I would go, actually, no, we absolutely cannot do that. So then I would like, one time he said it, I put it on mute. I said, let me do this. And I just went back off mute. Nice enough guy. But the thing about this guy,
he is a huge piece of shit for all these reasons. Nice enough guy.
Well, we're getting there. So like, he came across very like religious. So we went on a work trip to Charlotte, North Carolina.
I mean, riding a snowmobile is a religious experience in many ways.
It's as close to Jesus as you can get in Wisconsin, particularly. Yeah,
and many times you end up meeting Jesus because they're dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. I snowmobiled to Jerusalem during the winter when the Atlantic Ocean freezes, and it was life altering. So we get there, and we always had to. He would like insist on going to dinner at this place, and I can't remember that name. It's something kitchen. And they served like Southern food. And I guess like all the proceeds like went to the church, and like the waiters were homeless guys or something. Whatever. But like we'd be there for like, well,
they're contributing stuff. Who gives a fuck? Society.
No, I mean they're doing good work, I guess. But like it's eating this heavy Southern food for like 3 or 4 days. And
sick of being served by bums.
I mean, I don't know how many times I had to pick out the dude's teeth from my meal. But like by the end of the week,
pulling a filet mignon out of his goddamn bindle. What the fuck?
Like by the end of the week, me and this other guy, like, we cannot do this. Like, cause like we're going to this customer office, and like dropping massive ass because it's like fried chicken and mac and cheese, and it's like I just need to eat a regular. I need roughage. I can't
Wait,
do
you
all
were
this
eating
shit.
there every night the whole time you were there?
Like 2 or 3 times because he was like, "Oh, it's a really good," because when someone's like, "Oh, it's really good,"
Don't you want to help the homeless? And then you're
Well,
like,
and I will
I'm
say,
trapped.
NASCAR is not exactly like the culinary epicenter. Or NASCAR. Charlotte is not. I was going to say Charlotte is like the NASCAR of states. Like it's not the most culinary. Like where we would say it was like a Champ Sports and a something else, and then like we were going there one time and we had a lot of bigwigs there, and one of the VPs of my company, someone's like, "Hey, we could go over to Hooters." And he's like, "Sure." And I go, "Oh, you like wings?" He goes, "Something like that." Like it's like that's the kind of town it is, right?
I prefer the other white meat. Wink, wink.
So anyway,
breasts.
So one night we took the customer out to dinner at this nice steakhouse, and you do your schmoozing and your drinking and your eating, and I'm like, I'm going back to the hotel. I've had enough of hearing about somebody's fucking golf score or whatever. I'm going home. So he stays back. Sam stays back with another female coworker named, we'll call her Tina. That's not her name, obviously. And so Tina, like pulls me aside the next day and was like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like,
I just bought his snowmobile.
"I just got the snowmobile and I do not know how to make the payments. What does this run on? What kind of oil do I need?"
I didn't know how few miles it had when I bought it.
He said it's a high-performance snow machine, and I was sold. So
my ass sounds like a snowmobile for eating all this southern food.
He wined and dined me and promised he was going to get me closer to God, but it ended up just being him selling me a snowmobile. And thought I was going to get a deep dicking.
He told me he had him. Yes, a coworker pulled me aside, upset that another coworker did not give her a quote unquote deep dicking. I'll go talk to him. "Hey, Sam, you promised Tina you'd fuck the shit out of her.
Can you get that dick a little deeper next time, please?"
And he's like,
Read the
"No.
handbook or no?"
When I promise a deep dicking, it's always from a member of the homeless community." He's gonna leave his piss barrel and come over and fuck the shit out of her.
This deep dicking is for a good cause, okay? It really benefits society.
So I said, "What do you want to talk about?" She's like, "Well,
Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled boners.
Yearning to break free of their pants."
I met him on Binder. So I said, "What's up?"
I met her on Encampment with a no.
So she's like, "I got to talk about Sam. Like, what's wrong?" He's like, "Well, you guys all went back. The client went back. It was just me and him." And I'm like, and I'm thinking to me like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah.
But she's like, "No." He's like, "Do you know The Secret? Like that book, The Secret? Have you heard of that, Chad?"
Is that the like pickup artist one, or
It might as well be. No, it's like this self-help, like they've made a movie out of it. It's this big industry.
You see a lot of commercials. You
Yeah.
think about, like, you want a new bike. You think about having a new bike, like, repeatedly, and that will lead you to getting it.
It's a bullshit cult thing.
I do know
And
this,
he had earlier, I forgot. Earlier that same trip, he's like, "Hey, you strike me as a religious person," to me, and I go, "I do." And, I thought you were a sales guy and therefore perceptive about the people around you, because I am not. And he goes, "Well, you should read this." And he sent me some book called like Inherit the Kingdom or some bullshit. And I go, "What am I supposed to do with this?" That's what I said to him. He goes, "Oh, it's a book. You read it." And I go, "Yeah, I know what a fucking book is." I'm like saying, "Well, what do you want me to do with this book specifically?" I go, "You take this. I'm good." So he apparently used to work at this company that published The Secret. And he was like really trying to push her to like go to church and like believe in all the. And The Secret is, my wife, I think, read The Secret and she left it like in the bathroom. So when I was taking a dump, I was looking through it and it was like this. It's, like Novak said, exactly like, well, if you want to be rich, just think of money. It's like,
Yeah, that's how the world works.
Yeah, I
We all
thought
know
of that
this.
before. Yeah, like I think about titties near constantly. I don't see any in my face right now.
I think
I
about
shall-
snowmobiles, and I've never had one tried to be sold to me before.
No.
No, but we were saying you thought about titties, but then you grew your own pair.
yeah. It was a real monkey's
Specific
paw
enough.
situation. Yeah, I was like, I thought about giant titties, and suddenly I looked down and I needed a sports bra. I was like, this is more good. I was thinking about having constant sex, and Sam just tried to fuck the shit out of me.
I was thinking about deep dicking, and then all of a sudden there was Sam.
A line of homeless guys. So like he's this like super pious guy. So she's like, "Do you mind talking to him?" So I talked to Sam like, "Hey, Tina felt uncomfortable, blah blah. Like, you pushing the secret on her, like maybe just leave that to your fucking self. Like, why am I doing this? This is not my job. You don't know how to do our system or how to talk to our people.
Keep the secret a secret if you
Keep the secret to yourself." So he's the
But
super
nice
religious
enough guy. Nice enough guy.
Well, okay. So then this all culminates in he gets a divorce, which is unfortunate.
Uh-huh.
But
Mhm.
so he's at a company event. Like we had this big like customer summit, and there's all these customers here, and he is drinking. And it is not a secret that he's fucked up. So
He comes
he's
smashing through the windows on his snowmobile.
he was like, "Oh yeah," like Kool-Aid Man just came flying through. No, but he's talking to the friend of one of our customers, and it's not that many people left. And I'm standing next to him, and he's clearly putting moves on this woman. And I'm like, "Sam, like, come here. You got to stop. Like, this is not the venue. Knock it off." And he turns to this woman and goes, "Is that your feet or your pussy I smell?" And I was like,
no!
"What in the fuck?" So I pull him away. He's like, "I
He's
don't
a good
think
guy,
she-"
though.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
It's not a big
Great
deal.
lines.
He was a good guy.
Yeah. So I go, "Man, you gotta that was not okay. Like, what are you doing?" He's like, he goes, "I don't think she liked that real much." But yeah, that was a great line, by the way. I can't imagine why she didn't fall for that.
Oh,
Which
man.
chapter of The Secret was that from?
Yeah. So maybe that was part of the pickup part of it, like you talked about, Chad, like the pickup line part of it. But yeah,
Trying to
So-
nag her.
he has gone on to do other shit. I don't really care. I don't talk to him much.
He's Secretary of State now.
He is no.
man.
And that man was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The secret was I thought about having a brain worm, and then I did. But yeah, it's
The secret
Yeah,
was
it's-
letting every other person get measles, so you looked really good. And
The secret was selling your snowmobile to pay for all the liquid lead that you're drinking or whatever the fuck it is.
yeah. And then he used that line on the woman from Curb Your Enthusiasm that got married.
Cheryl.
So, yeah, I couldn't think of her name, Cheryl Hines. So yeah, no, shout out Sam. Good
that is
guy.
that's
Kind of a
fireable
weirdo.
offense, like saying that at a company thing.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest. I've been there a while now. That's like 13th on my list of things that someone should have been fired for. So
did he ever unload that ski-doo or what?
I got to imagine it's gone by now. I mean, he
You need some closure on that. You got to follow up.
he does.
How much you get for that thing?
He just jet ski a lot. I know that. He also would constantly want pizza. Like he'd be in the office and he'd be like, "Do you think they're getting pizza?" And I go, "They don't bring in lunch every day. I don't know what there was never an expectation of pizza. I don't know what you're." He would go.
That just sounds like he's practicing The Secret.
Yeah, he thought about pizza, but he would constantly stand up. He's like, "What do you think about for lunch?" And I go, "Me? Like, I'm not going to lunch with you. Yeah, I want pizza." I'm like, "Yeah, it's been clear. You've wanted it for some time."
Wow, what a guy. A true
Sam.
hero.
Shit, pour one out for Sam.
Thank you for your service, Sam.
Pour one out. Is he dead?
I suppose not. He
Pour
thought
one
about
out.
living some more. So
Pour one out, but don't splash it on your feet because your feet smell like your pussy right now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was breaking it down with my friend later. I'm like, where was he trying to go with that? That's a horrible thing to say to
The
someone.
worst. The fucking
Yeah.
worst.
Okay, we've got 3 snacks, 5-point scale. Love that, like that, indifferent to that, dislike that, hate that. Let's start with the Sour Belts. We got a couple candies from the Alamo Candy Company. I mentioned in the intro that they made these sour pickle balls that I remember being terrible and spitting out. These sour belts are Apple Manzana flavored.
Oh, is this the same company that did those pickleballs?
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
It's really disappointing. So this is like sort of the same thing like a sour punch straw is made out of, but it's like a flatter.
And these, I should say, these snacks tonight are all from my brother, David. He took a recent trip to San Antonio, Texas, with his lovely wife, and they did stuff like visit the Alamo and other Texas things.
Is this based at the Alamo? Because it's the Alamo Candy Company?
I don't know, maybe.
I went to the Alamo a few years ago. Don't remember them hawking candy out of the Alamo itself.
Remember the Alamo with these nasty pickleballs?
Okay, Geiger.
Yeah.
This seems like something you might give a chance to. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm not a big sour candy guy. Like Warheads and Sour Balls and all that. I never quite got the appeal. I will say, this isn't like the most sour candy of all time. Like it's sour for sure, but it's kind of a mild sourness.
It's no Warheads or anything.
Exactly. It's not even, I think, as sour as like a Sour Patch Kid. Like it's almost got a like, and you actually act. And I will give it credit. Maybe you guys think I'm insane for this. It kind of really does taste a little bit like apple. Like it's not like those apple candies that there's just like that manufactured.
You
shitty.
think it tastes like a real apple?
No, but there's something about it in the aftertaste that tastes kind of like apple juice. Maybe I'm just thinking of apple and hoping it comes to me.
Maybe just don't eat any real fruit anymore.
I don't eat apples because I'm allergic to them. So my conception of apples is maybe a bit fuzzy at this point.
Okay, that might be.
Yeah. Okay, I like the flavor. It's not overly sour. I kind of can't believe I'm saying this.
Do it.
But I sort of like them.
Whoa.
I'm going to give it a mild like that. Because this normally isn't my thing. Like a chewy rope of like crunchy sugar. Texturally, I don't like it usually. And the flavor, usually, I don't like it. But this isn't that sour. And I think it kind of tastes decent. It has a decent candy apple flavor. Put it that way.
All right, Jed.
Well, I am the sour of the three of us, as we established at the top of the ep. So this should be, right up my alley. And
it's your brand.
Yep, one of my brands. And honestly, it kind of is up my alley. Look, this does not taste like an apple, but it has notes of apple. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Essence of apple.
Yeah, there is that essence of like a green apple, not like a good apple, like a green apple. But I do wish it was a little more sour for me. Like I said, it is not that sour. It's something called Sour Belts. I feel like it should be like, I don't like the super puckery, like painful sour, but like I do like a little bit of sourness in my candy. So if this was a little bit more sour and maybe a slightly different flavor, lemon or something like that, that could be a real home run for me. But I still think these are tasty. This is a pretty solid like that for me. I think they're good.
Yikes.
Yikes, because that's low. I give it a love, Dad.
You really love these things?
Sometimes
I know.
I'm so happy because I feel like I get the most shit for liking garbage, right? And like rightfully so.
Yeah, you do like garbage.
And I do. Yeah, I tend to like things that are fucking terrible, like at times. Yeah. And Twinkies then the moment comes like this. It just turns the tables.
Or Geiger thinks this tastes like an apple.
This is not zero like that.
Oh, come on.
Shitty sticky rope of candy. It honestly is much better.
Shitty sticky ropes over him. all over me that one. Then no, well they
No.
weren't shitty. They were sticky,
No.
though.
No?
No, you didn't like that one. Not coming with me, guys.
Only one
No.
rope then, not rope. I guess.
No,
No.
he had a home.
Now he was very homed.
The ropes were coming off his front porch. He very clearly had a home.
Now, I think I gave Sour Punch Straws a hate. Like, that's the kind of American candy this reminds me of. In this case, I do think not being overly sour is a plus. The flavor's not terrible. I don't think it's bad, but it's really not worth a like. I'm going to give it a low level indifferent to that. So we got 2 likes and an indifferent. Pretty good score. Much better than I would have anticipated before we open that. So next, let's go to the other Alamo Candy Co. Treat, which is the Hot Peanuts.
How is this
Cacahuate
candy? Alamo Candy
Enchilado.
Co. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Someone just surprised peanuted themselves over there.
Oh.
They are. Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh.
They are heavily dressed.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
It's like it's the same kind of like spice that's on a lot of Mexican candies that we all tend to not like.
It's not the tamarind one, at least, or whatever.
It's like tahini-ish.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's not quite the tamarind one, but it tastes like, and there's just so much of it, so much of the coating on there. Would you describe it as hot or just spicy?
It's very overly seasoned. It's not hot.
Explain to me the difference between hot and spicy. Sorry.
Like hot, I think of like burning my mouth. Like just it's more hot. That's all you taste. You don't get flavor.
Your face warms up and stuff like that. Yeah,
you don't get the flavor as much as like spicy could just be, hey, I put way too much like seasoning on this thing, and now it's like hurting my tongue. Chad, what do you think of this?
Boy, I mean, I love a good seasoned peanut. I gave a love dat to a honey roasted peanut just a few episodes ago, and this could not be further from that. I mean, I don't like spicy stuff. I was never probably going to like this, but the fact that I like peanuts so much, and then they have like just absolutely ruined these peanuts for me is particularly offensive. These are nasty. I'm sure there's someone that likes them. I am not that person. Hate that.
They took a classic, a plain peanut.
Classic plain peanut.
God's classic. Right? Just grew it from the ground.
I don't like the spice that they put on here, this tahini type stuff, that I could overlook if there wasn't so fucking much of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just insane the amount of seasoning that is on these things. It's barely edible to me. I'm going to give it a second hate dat. Geiger, what do you think?
I am the spicy one of us.
Yes.
I like spicy food. I like this type of peanut. Like you get those like spicy hot, like cashews or whatever that Planters makes, or like I'll get like Tex-Mex nut mixes or whatever. I don't know why you keep shaking the container in your face when I say spicy. Let me razzle dazzle you with the spice. I don't think those are bad. I think the problem with this is that it's not overly spicy. It's just like eating your week's worth of sodium in one peanut. There's just so much fucking seasoning on it that you can barely pick it up because your hand is covered in red shit afterward. And I don't think for the amount of seasoning, it doesn't make the taste better. There's no like different flavors in it. It's like, you get some of the spice, you get some salt, you get some pepper, you get something in there. It's just that weird vinegary, like hot sauce flavor that just kind of sucks. I won't say I hate them. I'm ashamed to admit I will probably eat the rest of these slowly,
Good Lord.
but I will give it a dislike that. It's not good.
No,
Yeah, I will. They're not terrible. It's
give it a
food.
dislike. No. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not debating that you said that you dislike it. I'm debating that you
Wow, eat it then?
you dislike something and
Yeah.
you will eat them. Oh,
But
why?
it's food.
But you didn't pay for it. Just dump it in the fucking trash. It makes no difference.
Yeah, I could do that. It's really hard for me, guys.
Uh-huh.
Just imagine yourself throwing the food away. Continue to do that, and eventually
More
the
food
food will
coming
be
my
thrown
way.
away.
Yeah.
It does avoid the flaming bag of dog shit just barely,
Yeah.
but very low score. But we have some very delicious looking handmade chocolates coming up after the segment. Geiger.
Okay. Guys, it's time for the mascot fighting tournament. So we are going to we've done several iterations of this, I believe. Mascot. Oh, no, it's like our normal typical fans.
Was
No,
Sam's
that's your turn
favorite
to be able to-
mascot the Ninja Turtle?
It's
'Cause of
all
how much
Ninja
pizza he
Turtles.
liked?
Yeah. So this is all no.
Oh, this is my chance to do the fan.
Yeah, you can do fans finally. Here, do one. Highly intelligent fan base that follows the podcast.
Which mascot will be able to get loose with it?
Ooh. Oh.
Was Link one of the fans? All right. So last time I think we did AFL, Arena Football League. Well, last time we did this. This time I'm going to make this a little closer to home. I am going to do the high school athletic conference that I grew up in, right? Versus the high school athletic conference that y'all grew up in because you went to the same high school. Now, I did have to make
to see what the fucking Sockville mascot.
There is no Saukville High School. That's not even the case. It's the high school. It's the Saukville shit tree.
Sockville von Schladorns.
For you guys, I had to add some extra teams because you didn't have as many as we did. I checked with Novak earlier if I could add his daughter's high school in there, but they're already in that conference. I didn't realize you share a conference with Warren. I did not know that. So I added the high school my son will go to, and then I added the Crystal Lake High School just for you, Novak, because you used to live there.
Ernie Van Schlade. I use the secret to get a car lot.
Ernie Von Schladorn, all my salesmen don't have an home. Who do you know wants to sleep in these cars?
Shooting ropes out of the car.
Whoa. Jesus, sorry. Ernie Von Schladorn, these homeless guys can shoot massive ropes. These guys have powerful penises. Sorry. Okay.
Who do you know wants to buy a snowmobile?
So
Did
Novak,
he sell snowmobiles?
no, we owned a car dealership. That's not how that works.
Isn't that what we fucking people in Wisconsin drive?
I mean, I have seen people take a snowmobile to high school, but that's not what you do.
Get started with the fucking segment.
I'm trying, you fucking shithead. All right, fuck you. I was going to let you pick which conference, but now we're doing mine, so fuck you. All right. So we're going to do my conference this time. We're going to do your conference next time, and then we'll see who wins.
All right, how
I'll
many
go
teams?
first with List Sockville.
This is, first with List Yvonne Schladorn. This is the North Shore Conference in good old Wisconsin. So,
How many teams are we doing?
there are 10 teams. So we're going to have 2 play-in games, and then they'll meet the first and second seeds. So we're going to start with the 8-9 play-in. Let's see which one. The Slinger Owls. Now, the Slinger was not in my conference growing up. Slinger is known for having some shitty, like, dirt track sprint car. It's a bunch of hobos there.
What?
Yep. Against
Oh,
these...
I went to that.
Yeah, maybe.
You went
Up
to
in
the
Wisconsin?
Slinger Hobo Dirt
Yeah,
Track?
I think Kevin and I went to like a demolition derby.
You drove up to Slinger?
Maybe it was somewhere up there.
Wow. All right. Cool, man. All right.
So a bunch of rednecks. Is that their place?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You see the unwashed masses up in Slinger?
The sign's home of the unwashed masses.
Yeah. They threw a big town party when they first started selling soap and Slinger, you pieces of shit. Yeah, got them.
I saw those little guys. Bear, Big Ernie.
Big Ernie. That's Ernie von Schlater. They call him Big Ernie up there. All right. The Slinger Owls against the 9 seed, the Cedarburg Blackhawks. Now, obviously, Blackhawks has a Native American connotation. And I think at one time, that's what the logo was, but they had since changed it to an actual hawk. So this is essentially an owl versus hawk, all bird matchup. Novak, you've been to Slinger. Mm-hmm. So you tell me who you think would win this matchup. It doesn't say what kind of owl is the
Are
problem.
hawks black at all, like a bird?
Or is this the laziest fucking way to make amends of all time?
Yeah, amends. They went to the Black Hawk Nation. We're like, we are so sorry for having a mediocre basketball team this entire time.
For reparations, we are using a fake bird now with the exact same name.
Pitch Black Hawk.
We'll change our name if you will wash your masses for once. I'm gonna say I like owls. I like owl as a mascot.
Yeah,
I think it's like could be a pretty dangerous bird. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with owls.
Great horned owls are kind of creepy looking.
Hell yeah,
they're badasses.
Yeah, I'm just like I googled hawk wingspan and owl wingspan.
Getting a little fighting out the reach.
See who wins.
Yeah, and me saying that triggered my phone to start waking up and doing stuff. So the great horned owl has a wingspan of 4.6 feet, which is larger than most hawks, but the red-tailed hawk can beat it at 4.8 feet.
Is it the red-tailed blackhawk though?
Yeah, we are talking about black.
But I think the owl is a grower, and
so I put in
hawk as a shower.
I put in Blackhawk wingspan, and the Sikorsky UH-60 Blackhawk helicopter came up.
I hadn't thought of that.
So is it an owl versus a helicopter? No, I agree that. I mean, if this was like a bald eagle or some other kind of more badass bird, we might have a bit of a matchup here. But hawks, I think they're not going to stand up to a bird like an owl. So I will also go owl.
All right. Owl wins. They were higher seeded, so can't call it an upset. All right. The 7-10 play-in game. The Grafton Bulldogs. Common. I feel like half of America, the high school name is Bulldog or Wildcat. Versus the number 10 seeded Hartford Union Orioles. Now, Hartford Union, again, not in our conference growing up. I don't know if they have a good football team or not. Grafton did not. So, Hartford Union Orioles.
No one actually gives a shit if they're in your conference.
Okay. I'll stop saying that.
Okay.
Well, they're in the conference. They're in the conference now. So, I mean, they are in it. But, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, man. Okay. I'll stop bringing that factoid up. Chad, this is to you. Bulldog versus Oriole.
Yeah, I mean we all
Oriole spunky probably.
I think we remember from previous Oriole tournaments. The Oriole is one of the shittier birds, right? Like it's super small.
We all
sucks
remember
in
that.
General.
We all remember when we said how
could I
shitty
forget?
it was.
One of the most memorable things we've said on this podcast is what a shitty bird the Oriole is. I love dogs. Bulldog. Not my favorite dog. A little inbred looking for my personal tastes, but it is still a dog. So I will go Bulldog.
A little inbred looking. I mean, if you want to go after the people of Wisconsin, that's one thing, but leave the Bulldogs alone.
All right, shitheads. Just because our mayor is a horse and Slinger is unwashed, you don't have to call us inbred. Ernie von Schledorn, my son is also my brother. That's not true. That's not true at all. Eric von Schledorn is not Ernie's brother.
Craster's Keep was based on Saukville.
Yes. The entirety of Game of Thrones was lifted directly from Saukville politics.
Ernie von Schledorn, my family tree is like a bunch of Christmas lights you left in a box.
Half of them are burnt out.
I like a bulldog. I can go bulldog.
So your analysis is 5 minutes of Ernie von Schledorn inbreeding jokes, and then I like a bulldog.
I mean, what more is to be said? We already know the Oriole's one of the shittier birds.
Yeah, it is a shitty bird. Okay, that's fair. Okay. Let's do the 4-5. This is the Nicolay Knights. So knight in shining armor kind of knight. Mm-hmm. And the Port Washington, my high school, the Port Washington Pirates. So knight versus pirate. They're both sword-based combatants. One has a suit of armor. The other has scurvy. Who do you got? Novak.
Give us some background. Were they in your conference? Or
well, the Pirates were in our conference.
We're the Port Washington Pirates. Oh, that's what you just said.
So the Knights, look, I don't know about a Knight itself. I can say Nicolay itself was kind of the rich kid school. So, like, they were great at soccer and golf and swimming. They were shitty at, like, wrestling and football. They had so many homes. They had multiple homes. They were, like, not only were they all homeless, they were multi-homed.
Whoa.
Yeah, lots of homes. They washed.
They had double wide. Yeah.
They were very washed.
They had the double wide. These kids were rich. They had the double wide.
They were the really expensive kids that had 2 trailers instead. No,
I can say this. I grew up incredibly poor. So it's okay for me to say.
To turn my nose up at people I don't know.
And it's also okay for me to say it because I don't like Wisconsin. Okay? That's why it's okay for me.
Also, okay. So it's Knights and Pirates?
Yes.
Okay. So let's think about this. I'm going to give it some real thought here because that bulldog.
Yeah. I like a bulldog. I like a pirate. Yeah. It's kind of nice.
The old one, right? Yeah, you don't bring a fucking Oriole to a bulldog fight. That's the problem with the other one.
Everyone knows this.
You do if you're me.
A knight's got a bunch of armor and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard for a pirate to penetrate with its cutlass.
Come on, guys.
And I feel like it's its weaponry is a little more advanced, so I'm going to go with the knight.
No, pirates had guns, didn't they? They had the old, like...
Are we back to these the Captain Phillips pirates again?
What if he goes up and says, to Sir Galahad and says, I'm the captain now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on where you fall in on the pirate spectrum, right? Like, where in the timeline are these pirates? Are these... Because Geiger's right, more modern pirates, they did have, like, a cannon in their boat or whatever, and, like, one of those guns that takes 35 minutes to reload while you push the powder down with the stick or whatever.
Right.
But even with all that, the lack of, like, armor and, like, you know, the abundance of scurvy, I think, is really like a disadvantage, both of those things for the pirates. I think this is going to be a close fight, but I think the knight ekes it out.
Sorry, Port, you're out.
Buy me snowmobile.
The actual pirate that was named after are just people who like illegally download movies. So that's
the knight kills the neckbeard. Okay.
Yeah. All right, the 3-6. The 3 seed is going to be the West Bend West Spartans. This is Sparta, etc.
West Bend West?
West Bend West. There's a West Bend East. We'll get to them later. And number 6 is the Whitefish Bay Blue Dukes. So I don't know exactly what we can go. So I looked up Duke, and it is just like a wealthy landowner in Europe, or like part of royalty.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not like the other cool thing about them. They blue. So a
Whitefish
blue.
Bay, I know, is full of rich folk.
We called it White Folks Bay growing up. Yeah, it is very affluent. They are very snooty. They were also bad at sports that required you to hit somebody, but they were great at sports that required you to pay a lot of money to be good at them, like golf. That's right. Burned you, Whitefish Bay. Class warfare. So
or like yachting or some shit.
They were super washed. Like they smelled too good when they showed up for the sports.
Man.
It was like, what
good.
do you guys have? Shampoo and conditioner? So
you got that 2-in-1?
You got the head and the shoulders? I just got the head. So Spartans versus blue landowners. Chad, I think this is you to start us off.
Yeah, this is our biggest ass whooping since Bulldog versus Shitty Bird. I think the landowners have no chance. The Spartans, with their abs, will come through and take the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No need to waste too much time there.
This is Sparta. Look at my abs. Okay. Let's do the two seed against. Then the 2 seed will be against the Bulldog that played their way in, right? And that is the West Bend East Suns.
West Bend East.
West Bend's so fucking big they had to split the high school.
West Bend East.
That's the name of the city, and they divided it east to west. Again, they weren't in our conference originally, so I can't speak to how they split it up. So the West Bend East Suns, the power of the sun versus a pretty cool dog and a bulldog. So, Novak, do you think a bulldog can defeat the sun itself?
Wait, what seed is the West Bend East?
West Bend East is the 2 seed.
Oh, okay. So there's something better than sun. All right.
Yeah.
The sun rises in the east.
Mm-hmm.
Sets in the west. So their name is fucked.
It's the West Bend East, so it comes up in the east. What do you want it to do? You want it to land in the
east?
west?
It's supposed to be the East Bend West.
I think you're giving yourself a migraine trying to work your way through this on here.
The sun has been in other tournaments.
Yeah.
The NBA tournament, and we found a way to make it not win.
The Bulldog has the nuclear codes and launches a nuke into the sun.
Undefeatable. And there may be a way still, but I don't think a Bulldog is the one to take it down. So I'll say something.
Yeah, I mean, Novak kind of said it best. The sun is not infallible. Okay, maybe if you had
it could be a fail sun.
Yeah, maybe if you had a dog that had a little bit more variety in its gene pool, then we might have a conversation here. But I'm gonna go sun here in this case.
Okay, all right. Time for the 1 seed to strut on in. So it's gonna face Owl, who played its way in, but is maybe not prepared to take on the Homestead Highlanders. So now. Highlanders, when I looked it up, is
That's
mostly
your one
just
seed?
Well, because the Highlander is mostly just people that lived in the Highlands, but I chose it to mean the fucking Highlander who has the access to the quickening, who is basically immortal, and it chops off the head of his enemies to take its life force and become even more immortal.
Yeah.
So if you're immortal,
does he fucking defeat the sun at some point?
Connor
he's immortal.
McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
He's
Yeah,
immortal.
I've seen the movie.
If he can't die, how can he be defeated? So
now, how does an immortal being, like, let's say, the heat death of the sun, scorches the earth, and there's an immortal being on it?
Yeah, he just lives there.
What happens?
He's
lonely? Fucking floating through space.
He's very fucking lonely. He wanders the ash of the universe, and it's probably pretty.
I don't know the movie well, honestly. Does he, or maybe it was a show? Does he have
both.
like a sword?
Mm-hmm. He has so I don't. Also, I've never seen them, but I looked it up a little bit. Yes, apparently, if they cut the heads off their opponents with the sword,
it's Christopher Lambert in the movie.
Yeah. And Sean Connery's in it too.
Sean Connery, yeah. So and then in the show, it was like his cousin Duncan MacLeod, and I forget who played
His
him.
cousin.
Yeah,
I am the Highlander. This is my cousin Doug.
well, it makes no sense because in the first movie, he's Connor MacLeod and Christopher Lambert, and it ends with him killing, like, Sean Connery's his friend, and then Sean Connery gets killed by the bad guy Highlander.
Okay.
And the movie ends with him killing the bad guy Highlander, so he really is the last Highlander.
So he's like the super immortal being then.
Yeah, and then there's a show with his cousin.
Okay.
So I guess he wasn't the last Highlander. I don't know. Like
Highlander Jr. Yeah.
But we used to watch the show a little bit when I was a kid, actually.
I've only seen the animated Highlander babies. I wasn't sure.
But I always remember, the only thing I remember about the show is that the guy would walk around and, like, I swear every episode he would go, "I am Duncan MacLeod at the Clan MacLeod." Like, he would say it like that.
What?
And I just remember him saying that a lot.
Sounds fucked.
I just watched the Real Housewives of Highlanders on Bravo. That's the only thing I saw. And I was like, he can last forever because he can't die.
I'm looking at these pictures of the old Highlander.
Show me.
He's immortal, but why does the guy who is immortal have like a pretty strong receding hairline?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of
He still has Christopher Lambert's mid looks.
Yeah. We didn't say he was a model. We just said he was immortal. Fucking, like, who's that? Mitch McConnell? He can't seem to fucking die. He's not a fucking
Mitch McConnell?
Dude. Yeah. He's old as shit, but he's not
a Highlander?
hot. Yes, clearly.
I think he does have this sword. He seems like he could probably pretty easily beat an owl. I'll go with him.
I'm Mitch McConnell of the Clan McConnell.
Do you remember, like, Highlander 4 where he fought just a basic barn owl and lost? Pretty great.
Yeah, they did have they had sequels to
yeah?
it too, which I never saw. I never saw any of the sequel movies.
Okay. Is it worth watching, Chad?
No, it sucks. It's a bad movie.
All right.
Don't recommend.
I won't do it.
Also, I just spoiled it for you, so what's the point?
I suppose.
Novak, you picked Highlander?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I mean, it's an owl is pretty badass, but it's it's not going to take out. It doesn't have any way to chop off the Highlander's head, so
Okay.
there will be no owl quickening.
All right. Sun versus Spartans.
Novak, you would love the quickening though, because it's like lightning bolts, like shoot in at him from all directions, like pew 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 pew.
It's weather powers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Sun versus Spartans?
Sun versus Spartans is next lineup, yeah. So it's the Spartan. I mean, this is Sparta, and look, what did the chief Spartan from 300 say? 300 said, "My arrows will blot out the sun." So I think they'll still probably fucking lose. But what do you
Why
think?
did they say the Scottish Highlander lives and works as an antique dealer in New York?
Are you on Highlander fanfic, or is it?
Well, under the alias Russell Nash, the Scottish Highlander lives and works as an antique dealer.
Novak's been paying close attention the last 4 minutes to what you were saying, Geiger. As he reads the wiki. No, so it's like
he's on Wiki Highlander.
Part of the movie is in the past. It's like flashbacks of him from his time in Scotland with Sean Connery, and then the other is in modern day when it's like the bad guy Highlander has like killed all the rest of the Highlanders, and so there can be only one, is what they keep saying. So then it's the modern day is where it's a showdown. This is very fascinating stuff for our listeners.
Got
I'm
it.
sure.
Got it. Anyway, who'd you pick, Chip?
I didn't pick yet. Spartans.
Welcome to our
versus
movie
Sun.
podcast about Highlander.
Yeah, where only one of us has seen it 20 years ago and didn't like it.
So when they said I'm Duncan MacLeod, what did you think about that?
This one actually is pretty tough because, like Geiger said, the arrows do blot out the sun.
Yeah.
I just don't know do the Spartans have enough weaponry to take down a celestial body.
How would they reach it?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Sun, and we're just gonna hope. We might just have to hope for something from the other half of the bracket to take it out.
Geiger's been pretty. He hasn't done a lot in this tournament.
Other than putting the whole fucking thing together.
And I do think the arrows do blot out the sun.
Yeah.
That is the thing. that happens. So I'm gonna make Geiger get in. I'm just gonna pull him in here and let him make a decision. What do you think?
All right. I think the Port Washington Pirates should have gone all the way through. No. I think I am going to vote purely for the sake of the tournament. I got to think about ratings for this tournament, okay?
Yeah.
No one wants to fucking watch the Sun just sit there and get hit with spears and then just burn the Spartans over the course of time. That's a boring battle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I am going to say the Spartans managed to blot out the Sun somehow.
Wow.
Yeah, somehow.
Those
A lot of
arrows
arrows.
bearing down on the sun.
The arrows bear down, and at the end, Leonidas reaches up and just front kicks the Sun into a well. That's what's going to happen.
Into the black hole.
And then our friend Steve will watch that scene of the movie 800 times in a row. So that's a joke only for 3 people on this podcast. Guy loves fucking 300. What can I say? All right. He has watched 300 more than 300 times. All right. Highlander v. Knight. That's his, they're swordsmen. Swordsmen.
Yeah, they both seem like there's some similarities here.
Yeah. Kinda.
Highlander and Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like remember how like the Knights of the Round Table were also antique dealers in New York, if you remember that.
The Highlander doesn't seem to be wearing armor.
Nope. Well, he's immortal.
No. He's
In the one, I guess. Why? What's the point? Like, if you lop off his head, he just fucking pots it back on, or what?
No, if you lop off the head to kill them, that's how they die. is you
That's
lop
the only
off
way to
head.
die. Yeah, but you can't like stab him.
Yeah.
So how's he fucking immortal? If there's a very reasonable way to kill him, and he doesn't even fucking protect it with anything.
Cutting off your head is a reasonable way to kill someone?
Well, it's not like someone's immortal. There's no possible way we have to launch him into the sun. No, you cut off his head, and we all have swords, and he doesn't wear any fucking armor. So
Ed Gacy over here, Jesus Christ, or John Wayne Gacy, where the fuck is his
man,
name?
you know what? I was all ready to vote Highlander through. Then I found out this immortal man can have his head cut off and lives in a time when that sort of thing happens, and everyone carries around a fucking sword. So
everyone carries around a sword.
Antique dealer, New York. Everyone's carrying around a sword.
I don't know when and where he's from. This story makes no fucking sense.
This candelabra shouldn't go for $500. Swing! Just like right across the body.
He needs to go to Bosley. I'm cutting him. I'm going with Knight.
Bosley. Chad?
Novak over here pointing out plot holes in a movie he's never even seen.
No shit.
Knows nothing about. Most pedantic shit. Also, it wasn't really Highlanders. They didn't have like Christopher Lambert was not their mascot. Their mascot had nothing to do with antiques. But I am going to side with Novak and also vote Knights because I have seen the movie and his swordsmanship work is not that impressive. I feel like a well-trained knight could take him down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Who would have thought
he gone?
Knights and Spartans knock off Highlander and the Sun itself. But here we are. So that is our final matchup for the Wisconsin North Shore Conference Athletic Division.
Mm-hmm.
Knights versus Spartans.
Two sets of warriors, basically.
Two sets of sordid warriors.
Outcome.
Probably great abs on both sides.
Mm.
Chad, I think you're first here.
I mean, the Spartans are kind of like proto knights. You know what I mean? Like they were the knights before there were knights. But as we know, like the humans have evolved. They've gotten better over time.
The humans have definitely evolved. Yeah.
And things are definitely better now than they ever were. We all know this.
We live in the greatest times.
And so, like things like, I mean, you might say that, I don't know, the Spartans are the ancient Scottish countryside to the Knights' New York antique dealership, like that sort of thing. But I just think the Knights are an improved version of it. So I'm going to go Knights.
All right.
The Spartans' biggest issue is that they give up intelligent like coverage with armor in order to showcase Avery. Right?
Do you think that's their traditional garb? Or that was just 300?
Check out our gutters. Our gutters will blot out the
sun. And as the three of us have learned
Mhm.
in our lives, amazing cum gutters will get you a long way.
Yeah.
But they won't get you all the way.
No.
So
I got stopped right before the end. They said, sir, this is not that kind of restaurant. Put your shirt off.
I have used the
Nights?
secret to envision my cum gutters. I'm still waiting for them to appear.
All right. The night will await the winner of the other half of the bracket for next time. But good job, Nicolay. Those rich people. Like they need anything more in their lives. They have 2 showers in their multiple houses.
They have 2 showers.
They got a double wide with a big old bucket that they can bathe in.
Yes, that's what I meant by how rich they are. They have a bucket.
They have indoor plumbing, and now they've won the tournament. Fine, just fucking give them everything. All right, we've got Kilwins Chocolate.
Spoiled fuck's got a sink.
Sweet in every sense since 1947. Kilwins, I did, from reading earlier, learned that it started in Michigan, and they do have locations around the country, like 30 locations or something like that. Dave, sorry if you meant us to do these all in separate episodes. We decided not to do that. We are just doing them all at once. So there are different chocolates in here. There's a PB cup. What's this one called? A Buckeye?
Yeah, the Buckeye, which is Buckeye is dark chocolate and peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So also chocolate and peanut butter, but the peanut butter cup is milk chocolate. And then the third one is a milk chocolate pecan Tuttle nut caramel. So I think it's supposed to be like a turtle, basically. I'm going to start with the turtle, since that's probably going to be the one I like the least. The Buckeye is like shaped. Yeah, it's like round. What would you say this shape like? Almost like miniature Reese's peanut butter cup size, but inverted, kind of.
Looks like Geiger's Nips.
Mm-hmm.
Also full of peanut butter.
If you could have any liquid come out of your nipples, peanut butter. Because it already does.
Okay, these
Gonna try the
handmade chocolates, and they are very tasty. There's no denying. There's no surprise to me that these are very good. I don't know what the consistency would be from one Kilwin store to another. We have tried some treats on here that have come from one location and one location only, like a bakery somewhere. Mm-hmm. This, at the very least, I feel like there's a lot of locations, and it's probably try to keep it similar location. So, in theory, listening, you could get this snack. I think they're very good. I think the peanut butter cup is the best of the three.
What's the worst of the three?
I mean, the Buckeye is maybe too much peanut. Like, I like the Buckeye a little better because I like peanut butter better. But I do think the turtle is made better than the Buckeye is made. Because
Buckeye is a lot of fucking peanut butter.
It's too much peanut butter, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too much. I think the ratio is off. It tastes great still. I'll still eat it. But I think that's the worst made of the three. The turtle dimensions are great. The ratios are perfect, like better than most turtles I've had. I'm going to give this a Love Dat delicious chocolate treats here. Geiger, what do you think?
Yeah, these are wonderful. I agree the Buckeye is a little too much of the peanut butter in the middle. But, I mean, when I say too much, it's like the faintest of criticism. It's still very good. The turtle's great. I mean, if you've had a turtle, it's exactly what you expect. It's pecan. A little bit of caramel, some really good chocolate on top. I was gonna say I don't really know like with the Buckeye. You said it was dark chocolate. It didn't taste that dark to me, but I mean, who gives a shit? It still tasted good. The peanut butter cup is phenomenal. Like it really is good, and it does the thing that I love. Is that on rare occasion we've had these peanut butter cups where there's like actual creamy peanut butter in the middle, and it's like so fucking good, and it's like really salty, which is the perfect thing for a peanut butter cup like this. Like at first when I was biting into it, it didn't seem like it was that thick, but as you get into the middle, it's thicker, which makes sense because these are handmade, right? They're not just pumped out of a machine. This peanut butter cup, I might say, is like the best thing we've had in a long time, period. This is really good. The whole thing as a whole, easy love that for me too.
Okay, couple love dads. We're on the precipice of a basket of puppies. Chad, what do you think?
Well,
come on, ma'am.
No, I mean these are great. I'm not going to pretend that this isn't a love dad. I will say, to me, the turtle is the worst, and I think that is just because I'm just not a huge pecan fan in general. If that had peanuts in there, or maybe even almonds, I'd probably like it a little bit better. The turtle on its own would just be a like that for me. But the other two, peanut butter and chocolate, are fantastic. I agree with you guys. The ratio on the Buckeye is a little messed up to the point where one of my Buckeyes, the chocolate had actually like just fallen off of it.
Both of mine did,
yeah. But you put it back on, it still tastes great. It's really great tasting peanut butter. This peanut butter cup is god tier. It is fantastic.
Awesome.
Peanut butter cup. One of the best I've ever had in my life. It's really, really good. Love that. Thank you, David.
Dave.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's a basket of puppies. 3 loves. Perfect score. We'll see it at the end of the year. Geiger, where can listeners contact us?
If you are one of Ernie von Schleunort's inbred children, we apologize for making fun of you here. If you are unwashed or washed, we don't care. Come listen to the podcast. If you have listened to The Secret, and The Secret has been like the source of your life's success, love to find out more about how that works. It still doesn't really add up to me. And if you just want to ask us a question for the mailbag, suggest a snack that we should try, give us your thoughts about our ratings, you can do so at youtrydat@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We are on Facebook. Leave us a like, a review, stars, whatever your podcast platform allows. If you do enjoy the podcast, thank you for listening. As always, maybe let a family or friend or 6 or 7 know about the podcast. That'd be great. And a special shout out to Dave for giving us these snacks. So thanks, Dave.
Yes, this was awesome. Okay, you have a giant empty field.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Right, you're up in east, west, northwest Bend, and there's a mile of untouched snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
straight. You get put on a snowmobile,
right,
and you are going full bore, straight ahead a mile. Do you think you could successfully cross with no obstacles straight away? And I just looked it up. Snowmobiles, an average snowmobile reaches between 95 to 120 miles per hour.
Cross what? What am I crossing? The 50-yard line?
You're just crossing. You're going 1 mile forward.
Okay.
On your snowmobile.
Yeah.
Wait, how many miles on a snowmobile?
If I'm just going in a straight line of an empty field, I can't even hit anything.
You could just. I'm not sure that if you put me on a snowmobile that I've never been in my life, and it's going 100 miles an hour, that I could like just hold it steady as she goes. I'm gonna be just like fucking.
Have you done 100 miles an hour in your car before?
Yeah, that's very different.
Admit to driving illegally fast, Novak.
Even that's uncomfortable. I don't feel comfortable going 100 in my car.
Yeah. I think if you're just going now, if you ask me to turn, I am going flying. Like we did jet skiing one time. My son was hanging out of the back, and I was cranking it up pretty good, and I took like a hairpin turn, and suddenly my son was not hanging onto my back anymore, and I had to go fish him out of the lake. But just going in a straight line, I think it'd be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone jet skiing a couple of times, like, I don't know, 5-6 times in my life or whatever. And I would, it's not the same, but like I would try to crank it up as fast
How
as
fast did you get?
I don't know. It didn't have a speedometer on it. Probably, it felt like I was going 100 miles per hour. I was probably going 35, you know, but you know, cause you hit the waves and everything else. But,
Right.
I know that snowmobiles are supposedly like one of the most dangerous things out there or whatever, but I feel like if it's just a straight line across a field with no obstacles, no hills, like 100 miles per hour, you go 1 mile, that's like 35 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could do that for that amount of time.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
3 snowmobile vests right here. Now my kids are homeless. They're serving fried chicken at the fucking restaurant.
I'm imagining myself going across this field in a snowmobile. Splat.
The secret to long life: not get on a snowmobile.
Have you used like anything vision boardy, or know someone who has like done that sort of? Because the secret is a vision board,
Yeah.
right? Like you're setting your mind to accomplishing something.
Betsy,
Have you ever set a goddamn goal in your life?
My wife does like some of that aspirational like bullshit. I don't do it.
Wait, is setting a goal like if I'm like, oh, my goal this year is to, you know, go to 3 baseball games? Is that like a vision
Yeah, is that
board?
like your closest thing that like
reaching for the stars right over there? I want to sit and watch other people be athletic.
6 hot dogs per, that's 18 hot dogs.
I could eat them in a straight line. Yeah, like last year I set out to like take control of my health, and I went and saw the dentist a bunch and then stopped. So
Wow.
my teeth are better. My teeth are
you
better.
took control of your health like you'd take control of a snowboard shooting across the field at 100 miles per hour.
Your doctor's like, I don't know how to put this. Your health is a bit like a out of control 100 mile per hour snowmobile. It cannot be handled.
I looked over at his vision board, and at the top it said "Learn Medicine." I was like, "What the?"
When it comes
be
to your teeth, there can be only one. All your teeth are following out. You're only going to have one left.
Did your chair just break? What
Yeah, it was a great timing. I've been working on my health track. Let's just say I'm in pretty good shape. Flunk on the ground.
So did it work? Did you take control of it? Or?
Look at me. Do I look like I took control of anything?
Was it like a fucking like bull riding where you had to 8 seconds later you were no longer in control of your health?
I was like, whoa, whoa. And I just jammed fried chicken into my mouth. I'm like, I guess I didn't do it. Sorry, guys. I failed. And I was like, I don't know. My fucking goal is to go to 2 baseball games this year. Let's pick something I can do.
Scratch that goal. A new goal.
You just sitting at home shoving fried chicken. I guess I didn't make it to the baseball game.
I failed that too, yeah. That involves getting up.
All right, new goal. Open an antiques dealership in New York City.
That's gonna do it for this time. We'll be back next time. We're trying out 3 brand new snacks.
Deuces.
I'm Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel.